This is Hannibal from thehannibaltv.com, and today is my special guest. I have two-time and longest reigning WWE/WWWF champion, none other than Mr. Bob Backlund. How are you today, sir?
I'm fine. I'm doing well, but I try to have a good day just about every day of my life.
That's wonderful. Are you still keeping up with your workouts?
Yeah, there was a while there that a little bit I was working on my knee, and it I was walking a lot, and I had to do more exercises with the knee to make it stronger. But other than that, it's cruising right along.
That's good. Now, can you tell us a little bit about how you got into the wrestling business? I know you were trained by Eddie Sharkey.
Yeah, I was trained by Eddie Sharkey, but I wrestled. I wrestled for high school and college, and then I played football and wrestled at college. And I like to stay fit, and I like to stay in shape. But I'm 2 years old, and I still love life.
That's excellent. How was your actual transition into the pro wrestling training from amateur wrestling? Did you find it difficult, or was it a fairly easy transition to learn?
Well, I believe that amateur wrestling is not easy to get in shape for. You got to work at it. You can't shut down and let up. And sometimes you get in the ring, and when you're with Eddie Sharkey, and he was a great man to promote me and to get me out there. And you learn the moves, and then from there you go to getting them on the street.
How did you find wrestling in the AWA when you started your career there working for Vern Gagne?
How did you find? How did I find Eddie Sharkey?
How did you find the AWA after training with Eddie
Well,
Sharkey?
I grew up in Minnesota, and my mom was a wrestling fan, and she didn't say anything about it. But I called Stu Hart's dad, and I got him on the phone and asked him if I could go up there, and he would train me up in Canada. And the phone went dead, and he hung up, and I ran out of money. I was at a paid phone. I ran out of money, and the phone went dead, and I didn't call him back. I just figured, well, maybe he doesn't want to do it, and maybe being up in Canada versus my home area would be something that would slow my life down. I called Leroy McGurk in South Leroy McGurk and he asked me to come down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to have my first match. And I went down there and had my first match there, and it went on and on and on. And I actually met Terry Funk there a few times, and he kind of helped me get the situation right and be healthy to get in the ring. And that's where the work went. And but everybody was good, and everybody helped, and I appreciate every one of them.
How was the pay in those days when you were starting in the business? Was it decent, or were you struggling to survive?
No, I was hungry. I didn't get much food. I didn't get any, matter of fact. I just had a car, and there was no fee coming in each night. It was down to nothing, and it took a while to even stay out.
Where would have been the first territory where you started to make money and make a name for yourself after breaking into the business?
In Texas was a pretty good place. I was doing pretty well, Terry looked at me when he first saw me, and he said, "You know what? I like this guy." And then I went to his territory, and he was running it, and he put me in good positions, and it got so I could live in a house and eat all the healthy food I could get.
Now, as far as joining the WWE, I know you were close with Vince McMahon Sr. How did you get recruited into WWWF, as it was known then?
Yeah, you mean yeah, the WWWF? Yeah, yeah. They just needed somebody to be responsible, and they wanted to have somebody that makes people happy. And I liked trying to get people cheering as hard as they could, and try to do the things that they want to see and hear. And that's called building a match. Get them going, and put it in there, and the people will follow you, and you'll be able to make a few more dollars.
Did you know right away when you first met Vince McMahon Sr. that he had big plans for you, or did you have to develop some trust in him before he started to build you up as this big superstar?
I want to tell you a story, and I want to tell you because I believe. And when I was 15 years old, I was nothing. I didn't get any right. I didn't do this and that. 15 years old, slowly through my life, I got stronger and stronger and better. I wanted to make people happy in their life. And when I got up to the WWF, and they were going to switch the belt, and they asked me if I would switch it to them, or they told me that I was going to get it. And I said, "Why are you doing that?" He said, "I trust you. You show up." And I got the belt, and I kept it for 6 years. That's how it happened. And I like being that way, make people happy, have fun with them, smile, and build up a good life for yourself in your background.
Now, I understand it was superstar Billy Graham that originally talked to you many years before you even got into pro wrestling about getting into the business. Could you talk about your relationship with Billy Graham over the years, and the matches and the feuds you had with him, and what it was like actually winning the title that night?
Well, I don't recall him doing a lot. When I got in, he tried to help me a little bit. I don't. The people that trained me were out of the business, and I don't. The Sharky, um, he trained me for a while in, and he could do everything in the ring, all his moves, and he taught them to me, and I went with him, and I wrestled. Jeepers, yeah, I know. I think I got him from Eddie Sharkey.
Now, for Billy Graham himself, how did you like your matches with him? And any memories of the night you won the title, what that night meant to you?
Yeah, he was different, and he was. I guess he was a heel, and I had to watch out for what he's going to do during the match, and um, then when once he tries to kick on me, I should kick back, but maybe I didn't do it as much as I should have, because I didn't want to have that kind of matches. I wanted to have a match where two people working hard to get ahead in a fair way. That's what I was doing, building building a business with your own world. Save the dollar, build it higher, and make it happen, and be happy. You know it's time to win. Be quiet and do well. You want to be a person to show the man, show the kid how to build and build and build in your life.
They gave you Arnold Skoland as a manager in WWE. It was unusual for a good guy wrestler to have a manager. What was the reasoning behind putting him with you?
Well, he was Bruno's manager, so that X's that he doesn't give it to honest people or the people that aren't heels. And Bruno was, really loved in the business and did a lot of things, and he could have a match with everybody and telling the story in it.
Did Bruno help you as an advisor since you were kind of the next good guy wrestler to take over from him after his reign because it had been a heel in between?
Yeah, well, he was I liked him. I was proud to have some like him as a guy that's going to watch out over what's going on in the ring. And but it wasn't a lot of teaching. It was getting me used to it. You know, if I made a mistake and you should have did it there, you should have did it here. He wanted to try to do things to prevent any injuries, and I wanted to do it the same way too. I slowed down a little bit and did the moves, and then I come up, do a little amateur wrestling, and trying to take him down and let him get up again. And then that when he tries to beat me up, I have to turn around and do a little bit. But I wanted to be the ultimate baby face. I wanted to have the people be proud of me as a person on the road and a person in the business.
Was there any advice in particular from Bruno that stands out to you that you could share with us?
Yeah, Bruno, we didn't live very close together, and he was traveling a lot, and I wasn't traveling with him, anything like that. And he when he stopped, it was the I just I thought, geez, I hope he does a little more. But he was his age and stuff. He thought it was time to slow down and do less traveling and try to have a few things once in a while. But he just kind of stopped, working in the business.
Now, what did you think of Captain Lou Albano, who managed against you several times?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he wanted his man to win all the time, and he wanted him to get the title, and he didn't do that. He didn't beat me, and I know he wanted to, but that's too bad because I knew how to wrestle. I protected myself. I could do a takedown. I could do a wrist lock. I could do a body slam. When you pick up somebody to a body slam, you don't want to hurt them. You want to lay him down flat and let him jump up and continue to have a match, sneaking in things, poke an eye. And then you're going to build heat with the guy you're wrestling, and the fans are going to see that, and we're going to go crazy together in a way that's unheard of.
I know Andre the Giant wrestled on a lot of cards that you headlined. How was your relationship with Andre over the years?
Andre had a big heart. He was a wonderful person to know, and if he liked you, and if he didn't like you, if he liked you, you were not going to be in trouble. But if he did something that you didn't like in his life, he would quiet you down and throw you around and keep doing that to set a message to you.
Did you ever have to send a message to anybody in the ring that tried to shoot on you or make you look bad when you were champion?
Yeah, nobody did that, and I knew I knew because of my background, amateur wrestling helped me to be able to protect myself when other people tried to take over. They it was I always smiled when I started thinking about these guys that don't know how to move. They don't know how to do a squat, or some of them. But let me see if I can do something in the ring to make him know more about what to do and when to do it.
You had a very memorable feud with Ken Patera. Could you share any thoughts of wrestling with him and your matches over the years?
I tell you what, I've got a lot of I got a lot of respect for him, and I've talked to him on the phone a little bit, and I believe that he was a hard working man, and working hard is good, and he wanted to make sure both people are going to come out on the top. I like I say, I think he was a good man, and you know what? I think he tried to help people get ahead in the ring and look good.
Who was the heel you wrestled that had the most heat, that was the most hated opponent?
Pardon me?
Which of your opponents had the most heat as a heel? Was there anyone in particular that the fans really hated and got into the matches a little bit more with?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's see. I got in a lot of them. I think, but um, oh boy. The let's see. I got to think. Blackjack Mulligan looked like he was pretty rough, and then um, oh gosh, oh gosh, yeah. There was a few of them, but uh, um, I can't think of the last name. Slaughter, Sergeant Slaughter was the one I think that I was probably scared of the most in the business because he could do a lot of things and he was good balance and he was I think he was very uh, it was very important for him to support his family and have a good life, and he would work hard for to get that.
You had some very violent matches with Sergeant Slaughter. Did you mind doing that style of wrestling since you usually did a lot of the technical stuff, but those matches got a little bit gory at times, from what I
Yeah,
recall?
I enter. I would Sergeant Slaughter. I knew him, and I knew how good he was and how good a person. But um, yeah, we had some battles, and they were. But I got to so I could protect himself and stay away from the moves that are so painful, and uh, I actually started to be able to duck out of him, or do a single leg takedown with his ankle, and and kind of slow it down to what he was trying to do, as far as maybe hurting somebody, and because if he was good at it. He was good about it. So was Sergeant Slaughter. Or Sergeant Slaughter. Yes, he was good, and he still is. And I see him out there every once in a while.
Greg Valentine was another memorable feud you had over the years. You had numerous matches with him. How did you find working with him? He was known to be very stiff in there with his forearms and so forth.
Greg Valentine, I didn't have a great love for him, but I respect him more just about than anybody else, because when he got in the ring, he wanted to do business. He wanted to do business, and he wanted to do it right. And he would his opponent most of the time get a chance to try to get him in the figure four leg lock. I remember one time I got it onto him, and I squeezed, and he was good enough to get out of it, and then we were both standing on the feet. Which one of that made us look good? Which move will make you look good? That's how he was. I want to look good, and I want my opponent to look good. I want to walk out of here.
Did you ever wrestle Superfly Jimmy Snuka?
Yes, I did. I wrestled him a few times, and his background was not good, and he had a lot of problems in his life, and I feel bad of what he had to go through in certain times.
As far as the matches, was he easy to work with, or did those problems translate into the ring ever?
He was very they coached him very well, and he put a lot of time in it, and he knew what to do, when to do it. You can do a move, but if you don't have the right timing, it's almost worthless for you. You gotta know it. You gotta do it the right time, and you gotta make it look good, and you gotta get to the person. You gotta try to make him fear. He's trying to make his opponent look like a wrestler.
What were your thoughts on Ric Flair, who is another champion that people would say is one of the all-time greats in the same category as you?
Yeah. I would say he's had a good big part in the wrestling business, and I never really got a chance to. Oh, I did one chance with him in a match, and they were pretty even, and I would take another match sometime or another, but I don't think I'll be able to do it now. I got some things in my life, and they're going good.
How would you compare his technical wrestling ability to yours?
You didn't hear me, did you?
Yes, I did.
I said,
yeah. So
That's
you don't, in a shoot, you don't think he would have stood much of a chance?
No.
What did you think of his behavior outside of the ring as champion compared to your behavior outside of the ring?
If I had a reputation like that, I wouldn't be here.
I understand. Now, you won the World Tag Team Championships with Pedro Morales against the Wild Samoans at that huge Shea Stadium match that I believe it was Bruno against Larry Sabisco in the main event. What were your thoughts on wrestling in that big stadium in front of the huge crowd?
Was that? Yeah, geez, that match isn't a part of my life, and I don't recall a lot about it.
Okay.
It's not a match that I went over and over and over. I don't have a lot to say about it.
Did you prefer singles over tag team matches?
Yes, yes.
How did you
Yeah,
like working
you
with?
can't. You in a tag team, you can't really have a point to reach and reach it. But when you're in yourself, you can do what you want to do if you can do it on them to get ahead.
What were your thoughts on Harley Race, who is another one of the all-time greats?
I have a lot of respect for him. I have my gym at home. It's a picture of Harley Race on the wall. And Harley Race is somebody that I had a lot of matches with, and they were all our matches. Vern Gagne in Minnesota loved him, and he booked him with me a lot because he liked working with the match that we put together, and that really helped me with the business because he was the top of a long distance matches, and I have a lot of respect. I had a lot of respect, and I will always have a respect for Harley Race. He didn't poke me in the eye.
Would you consider Harley Race one of the toughest legitimate wrestlers out there over time? Because his name always comes up as one of the tough guys in wrestling.
Yeah. I thought you were going to stay about um, muscles and stuff like that. But yeah, that way, yeah.
Speaking of muscles, you were very strong in your heyday. What was your best bench press, squat, and deadlift?
A little. It wasn't quite the 400.
Very
And
impressive.
and then I have a hold by the uh, cross face chicken wing, and when I put it on somebody, uh, they have their arms wrapped around my leg, and they're laying on the mat, and I do a somersault, and I take his arm with me, and when I get ready, he's facing away from me. He's got his legs wrapped around my arm, and I stand up and I pick him up and put him on my shoulder, and then he got away a couple times, and I got him back again, and then I got him in the crossface chicken wing, and it was over.
Were you doing the crossface chicken wing much when you were still a good guy before you became a bad guy?
Yes, it's a hold. It's a hold. I don't have to cheat to get in, but it's a hold that I can use. I'm just using pressure, and that's what all the holds are for: pressure to get to the hold.
How did you like working with the mass superstar Bill Eadie, who you had a very memorable feud with?
Yeah. I back when I was in the business, I was happy every day of my life. I was happy when I was going through life, and the world was uh, very good to me. And I just, like I said, I enjoyed living.
Were you disappointed when they broke the news to you that you were going to have to lose the title, or was this something that you knew was coming?
No, I didn't know it was coming, and but I knew what they were trying to do was right. I knew that that's what they should do because that's, I should say, an angle that people are going to sort of understand where we're trying to go and where do we want to end up in this way.
Was the Iron Sheik somebody that you respected as a wrestler because he was also an amateur wrestler despite his outside of the ring issues?
Well, you know what? When you wrestle in the Olympics, something's happened. Something's good. And when the Sheik came in, he was here, and he was good, and he lasted a pretty good long time, and he was a name out there, and he was a wrestler in the Olympics, and that I had respect for him in one way or another, good or bad.
Whose idea was it for the towel finish? Because they must have done that out of respect for you, not having you give up or pinned. They gave you an out where you didn't really lose any credibility.
I like probably yeah, the mind thinking of what the fans are doing, um, are just a little different. But the towel is just happened, and they probably, as a champion, they don't want him to take a pin or something like that. But I would have did whatever they wanted me to do in the match.
Did they explain to you that the title switch was just for Hulk Hogan to eventually get it at the time, or did you think Iron Sheik was going to have a run?
I didn't know. I didn't know for sure. I didn't. I wasn't. I'm not in there in the business. I'm out here in the business. So I can't tell you which one was supposed to do that. But the Sheik wanted it pretty bad, and I have the clubs in my house.
As far as Hulk Hogan, I know you wrestled him many times, and of course, he took over after you were champion and went on to have a very successful career. What are your thoughts on him as a wrestler and as an individual outside the ring?
He's Hulk Hogan. I don't say bad things. His name is Hulk Hogan.
As far as your matches with him in the ring, did you enjoy your matches? I believe you actually beat him in Japan.
Yeah. It's yeah, yeah. He was good. But was he over in Japan when I was over in Japan?
I believe so, but he was still a heel at that point, I think.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I thought maybe you meant Dusty Rhodes. I wrestled him over there, and that was a pretty big match too. Yeah.
Dusty was also on a lot of your WWWF cards. Any memories of him you could share with us?
Yeah. He's a man. He's a man that's I've never had any problems with him, and if he says something, he's going to do it. And in that match, uh, we were doing a little wrestling, and that surprised the heck out of me in Japan, and we enjoyed the match that we had with together, and we did put it together. We were our mindsets were on the same way. Each time we wanted to create some sort of a comeback, and a comeback is mean coming back to get your heat back with the fans. It's all about you. We want you to leave the building happy, smiling, and even hurrying up to get home to have some more fun.
Is it true after you lost the title, at some point they made an offer to you to feud with Hulk Hogan as a heel? And if yes, why did you not accept that offer?
No, that didn't happen. I don't recall that.
What made you leave the WWWF shortly after your run? You just wanted to join another territory for a breath of fresh air?
A little bit, and I was still in it in some ways, but yeah. There was other territories that were getting going um, and doing pretty good. That was that was good.
One of those territories was the UWF in Japan, where they were doing a more realistic style of wrestling. Do you have any memories of wrestling for that company?
I didn't go over for that with that
Okay.
company or whatever it is. Yeah, yeah.
You made a return to WWE in 1992. Was that something where you reached out to them and said you want to do a comeback, or did they contact you and say we want to give you another run?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that, but I don't recall the actually what happened between us. We didn't have a fight or anything like that, but but uh, there were some things that we wanted to try to achieve.
Now, at one point, you wrestled Doink the Clown, Matt Bourne. A lot of fans on here have been asking your memories of wrestling him, and what were your thoughts on having a clown wrestler at the time?
Well, clown's a clown. I'm not knocking no clown, but if you still treat him the same way in a match, you can't change it and then let it have him beat you. So you just keep up the same style and let him do what he does on his cost and his mask and stuff, and just keep on moving, keeping staying away, and don't get beat.
Did you think that wrestler Matt Bourne was actually a good wrestler underneath that gimmick?
No, I don't. Yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, my life has um, been good, and that's that's fine.
Were you concerned when they asked you to turn heel in a way and become the Mr. Bob Backlund character, where you were putting the crossface chicken wing on people and not letting go?
Yeah, yeah. That wasn't them. That wasn't them when that happened.
Oh no, whose idea was that?
Mine,
Oh really? Could you explain to us how you came up with that idea?
because I thought I could speak in a different way,
I
and
see.
not speak as just a big time baby face. This way, I could use different discourse.
Yes, and you were a great heel. I remember seeing you in Kingston, Ontario, one day at a house show before the card even started. You just came out and you walked around the ring and you looked at the crowd and you gave different looks, and the whole crowd was booing you, and you weren't even saying anything or having a match. For some reason, you just came out and decided to get the crowd riled up, and it was amazing the heat that you had.
I was testing them. I wanted to test them. I knew that I turned into like a heel, so to speak, and I wanted to find out if it was working. But I wanted to actually have the people enjoy what I'm doing and saying at the same time.
What are some of the keys to being a good heel for any of the wrestlers watching this? If you could share any insight, since you were so successful at it.
You want to make your opponent look like a Superman, and then you take it away from him in a nasty way and get out of the ring.
Now, your most memorable feud of that time in WWE, of course, was with Bret the Hitman Hart, where you actually captured the title for a second time and had a series of phenomenal matches. What was it like working with Bret, and doing that feud that was the top feud at the time in WWE?
Yeah, yeah. Bret and I, we weren't, close. We didn't live close together. We didn't do this close there, but we were, and we didn't weren't together a lot in the ring, but we had things to do to do it right. So we kept on working and working, and I always had a lot of respect for Bret. And it doesn't make any difference if you respect him, but you want to try to win. And but I respected Bret Hart and his family. I wouldn't put them down. I don't want to tear them apart. They're wonderful people, and they've done a lot in the business of professional wrestling, and I respect them for that.
Any memories of that infamous match where Helen Hart threw in the towel on Bret for you to win the title?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was there. That was there. I in my mind, I didn't really want it to do it. They did it with Bret. Um, that was I don't know. I don't know. It was, but it was. They got it. They got it done. Yeah.
Were you always aware that it was going to be a short title reign with Diesel ultimately taking the title from you in Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, I knew it was. I knew, pretty much how much I was going to get, and this and that. Yeah.
What was it like working with Diesel, who went on to be Kevin Nash and had a great career?
Yeah, yeah, and I wasn't. I was kind of out during that time, and I didn't have he's a guy. He's good. He made it. He was good for the business, and which just and I was kind of doing things to get certain things going in my life, and it all worked out.
You had many Royal Rumble appearances. One of the Royal Rumbles, I think you went over 50 minutes. Any thoughts on those matches?
Yeah. 50 minutes. I tell you the truth. I liked long matches. I looked forward to them because the challenge is to get every one of the fans involved in the match mentally. And it was a challenging thing to me to get somebody in this sweat and this hold and that hold and make them act this way or this other hold the other way. It was good and bad. It's good and bad. And your opponent has to decide if he could be a bad guy or a good guy.
I see. Is there any feud at that time that was your favorite? Would it have been the Bret Hart feud, or would it have been one of your lesser known feuds from that 92 run that you had?
Yeah. No, you know what? I still wanted to get everybody in the building, give them a good match, and back then, it's even more important. It's the one thing is that the people that don't know how to work don't get that, and the whole country, if they could have built up heat on the people, the people would dislike you less or more. And I didn't want it to happen. I had to have that happen. I wanted to be clean cut, all American boy, and I wanted to be a role model. I wanted to say, do it this way, you'll get there. Show up on time and have fun.
Did you ever have any fans attack you when you were doing the Mr. Backlund character with all the heat that you had?
No, no, they didn't. That was it fit. It fit with that saying that. Yeah.
I see. And after you departed WWE from that run, did you just decide to stay away from wrestling, or was there ever any WCW offers because WCW was booming around that era?
No, I was hanging on string then, and I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I didn't, but I did. There was a time, and I don't remember a lot of it, that I stopped the toughness, the heel, I should say, being the heel. I didn't. I stopped. I got to be a pretty good heel. The fans were, uh, you know, uh, yelling and screaming at me, but they never ever tried to touch me. But anyway, I got rid of that, and then my business was just going to be going level for I don't know how many years. But I enjoy saying, young man, try this. It works.
WWE brought you in later years to manage Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist. How did you like doing the angle with him and working with another great amateur athlete?
No, I'm me. I'm me. That's it. I'm when the business is business, I got to get it done.
I see. And most recently, they had you doing.
I'm not in that. I'm not. I wasn't in that group. There's a group, and they do everything together, but they don't make the people happy because they're not doing something that was good for you. And I didn't want to stand next to it. I want to get out of town.
Then most recently, they brought you back again, and you did a thing where you were coaching Darren Young. That went on for a good amount of time. Did you enjoy that storyline that they did with you working with Darren?
If somebody asked me to train somebody for the business, I think I wouldn't mind doing it. I don't think, yeah, but I'm not sure. Yeah. And I don't remember a lot about that match. We had so many matches. I just there's a few of them that I go pretty close with, but most of them are matches that I had, and I'm not really, saying, "Hey, this is what I did every move."
What was your diet like in your prime when you were champion?
Eat a lot. Eat as much as you can. Get as much protein as you can, and try to work out as hard as you can, and put the two together, and become an athlete. An athlete.
What did you put in your shakes that I understand you were a big proponent of energy shakes with various vegetables and so forth? Could you share with us, for those of us that work out, what your secret formula was?
Yeah, I don't I don't think that's good. I don't know if I just what was it? What kind of question were you asking again?
You make vegetable shakes, I understand. I was just wondering what you put in those shakes to give you energy.
But I don't know if that's true or not. I don't remember doing much of that, I don't think about that out either.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
Now You do have a book out. Could you explain what made you want to write the book? And are you happy with how the book was? I read it and I thought it was a great book.
I wanted to come off the business and have a book to talk about and to have things in there that that happened to me when I was in the business, and try to like even like maybe like a teacher, have the story and explain how he did it in the book.
There's a few fans on here asking how they could get autographed copies of your book. Is there a way that people can order autographed copies?
Well, it's going, but I sometimes I go places and we do books and whatever, but there's nothing out there in the sky. We just do it. Yeah.
What did you find the main differences were between Vince McMahon Sr. and Vince McMahon Jr., who you worked with both of them very closely?
Vince, I think. Well, I can't say this. I think Vince. Yeah, Vince wanted to. He wanted to do you have a better business. He
I
worked.
understand.
He worked to get it somewhere. Yeah, and I wasn't in there as much as some of the people. He built up Bruno Sammartino, people like that. Good all around people. Yeah.
Did you like your matches with George the Animal Steele, who went on to be an agent after his wrestling career?
Well, I didn't enjoy it because I didn't want to go crazy, and I didn't. I was. I never. You can't really tell a story and then build it up, and so that was the one that I like doing it. I mean, he's a good man. He was an athlete. He was a person. But those matches, I wanted. I would have probably. I would do it that way, not his way.
What are your thoughts on so many wrestlers passing away early? I know a lot of it has to do with the negative lifestyle they left, but I'm sure some of those deaths affected you as being your friends with them over the years.
Yeah, I had friends with it, but you got to remember, I was the heel, or I was the baby face, and they were the heel, and they were doing things that I wasn't doing. They were doing things that I wouldn't do. That's why.
Did you ever get behind the scenes heat for not doing the partying lifestyle that a lot of the wrestlers were doing back then? Did any of the wrestlers hold it against you? Or did they understand that you were a different type of guy and they just let you be?
They got out there and did their thing and didn't bother with it. I didn't see them. I wasn't with them. I drove by myself. I traveled by myself. I did other things. I was there, and I feel bad about the things that happened to people over the years, especially those ones quick after a certain date. They shouldn't have did it. I tell you, they wanted me to do it with them. They hated me. They hated me more than anybody else in the business because I wouldn't cheat, and I wanted to win. And thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Last question here. What was the worst injury you ever sustained in the ring?
I got to tell you the truth. I can't think of any.
You trained and you stretched and you were blessed, I guess, to never get seriously injured.
Yeah, well, you learn how to do things, but you learn how to protect yourself. You learn how to do something that would stop what the person is trying to do. And that's why you want to try to stay in shape and work hard and do your best and go out there and win.
There's a few fans on here that asked your favorite match. Was there a favorite match of your career?
I can't tell you the favorite match, but I liked them all. I loved them all. I loved getting in the ring. And my goal was to make the people happy and follow and support me as a winner.
Is there any social media or any website where fans can look you up or promoters could look you up online, or do you just stay pretty quiet these days?
I'm pretty quiet. I do what I do. I'm me, and that's, there's no 10 other guys. I'm around and I talk to people. I don't walk away when I'm talking to people. That's not right. Answer the question.
And I understand you use CBD oil. Is that true? Do you think that's a good beneficiary?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans here as we wind this down that are watching, who have supported you over the years?
I appreciate the people from the times when I've gotten, well, it looks like somebody's beating me up, this and that, and this and that, and this and that, and I'm down laying way out in the match, and I'm just kind of shaking and just doing everything, and then you were getting mad because the guy was beating the heck out of me, and then you got a little more madder, and pretty soon the whole building was running. I was yelling, screaming for me to do better. And you know what? There was enough screaming and yelling to get me to do it better.
And I asked you about the heel advice. Before we go here, is there any babyface advice you would give to any babyface wrestlers watching this video?
Learn how to sell and put your opponent over. You got to make him big. And you should be able to do that.
Well, I really appreciate your time. I have a lot of respect for you. You're a legend. I'll let you close this off with whatever you want to say, but I wish you a good weekend and a good rest of your day. Pleasure speaking with you, sir.
Oh, is this the last? Is this the end of the program, or is this the hour? Hour's over?
Yeah, we got about 1 minute left. So I appreciate your time. It's been wonderful hearing your stories and hearing the advice that you've had to share with us. But I was wondering, we got about a minute left, if you wanted to say anything to close it off.
And it's I had some words, but this business, it's all about you. It's all about you. It's about you and your support for your favorite, I should say, athlete. And that's something that in my life, that was my goal, is to do and get you to enjoy the match as much as you can. And that's a goal. And and to me, it was fun to try to build.
Well, you were one of my favorite heels of all time. And again, I appreciate your time. And I thank you on behalf of all the fans watching right now. They're thanking you too. Wish you well. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for watching the Hannah.
Oh, sorry. Did you have something else to say?
I just wondered, am I done?
Yes, you're all done. You're good.
Okay. I didn't know. So yeah.
You're great. Pleasure speaking with you, and good luck on everything.
Well, I'm kind of shy and stuff, but a humble and shy guy. Yeah. But yeah. But I thank you too, and it was great to be on that time. And I really wanted to explain to people how or why I did what I did while I was in the business.
You could still do it. It's still going. You could still do that if you want. Or did you already? You explained it enough.
Pretty much, but if I get something thinking of but I just just things that are trying to put into their minds, and that's I think that's the people are listening to it. That was once is enough.
Great. Well, I really appreciate speaking with you, and